All right, so hello. I am really glad to be doing this Facebook Live tonight to talk about Beethoven. My name is Elizabeth Peterson, and I am the host of The Inspired Classroom, and I'm also a fourth grade teacher in Massachusetts. And my goal as an arts integration specialist is to inspire other teachers to take the time and get some inspiration so that in turn they can inspire their students with the arts. So for our first ever Facebook Live event, we're going to talk about Beethoven, the man, his music, and how you can integrate some of these fun and engaging experiences into your classroom for your students. So hopefully you will be learning some things that can enrich your content, develop and reinforce some SEAL ideas, social, emotional, artistic learning, and also for just some plain old fun, because it is December after all. So you do need to know that I am using my notes. So you might see my eyes kind of go up and down a little bit. I just don't want you to miss out on anything, and I don't want to waste your time tonight. So I want to get to some really good stuff. Along the way, I do have a couple of prizes and surprises that I want to send out to you guys. So one is I have an ebook called Celebrating Beethoven in the Classroom, and that's where some of these ideas are coming from. And I'm ready to do a couple of giveaways for that. And we'll also see if people are willing to make some comments, maybe get a couple of giveaways like that. And since this is my first Facebook Live, I thought, why not? At the end, I'm going to give away a copy of my book in print. It's called Inspired by Listening. This is it. And inside it, it has one of my favorite lessons that has to do with Beethoven using his song For Elise, which everybody knows and probably everybody also loves. So I'm going to do that. Oh, and at the end, I have a freebie for everybody. So hold on with me and I'll get you that freebie that you can use in your classroom tomorrow. All right, so I'm ready. I got my Beethoven mug. Yes, that's right. And wait for it. I brought him home from school today. I've even got my special Beethoven stuffy. So yeah, air high five. I got a Beethoven stuffy. Isn't that cute? The kids love him. He comes out of my closet every December. So here we go. Let's get started. So I just love this time of year, but it's not just because of the holidays. It's really because of Beethoven's birthday. I love celebrating his birthday. And it stems from me celebrating it even as a kid. You see, in my family, Beethoven is revered as a hero, and not just because of his music, but also because of his life, the obstacles he overcame, his perseverance, his love of nature, loyalty to his family. He wasn't just an ill-tempered, crazed composer. I grew up knowing about the man inside too, and that's mostly because of my grandfather, Vartkus Bogosian, who's probably Beethoven's all-time greatest fan, and he instilled a love of the man and his music into my family. And so naturally, I want to pass that on to my own two children, but also to all my students, all my kids in my classroom. And that's what I've been able to do for about 2 decades now. So let's get started into some of the ways you can bring some of Beethoven into your classroom. Probably the most obvious way is listening to his music. And we can access Beethoven's music so easily. So maybe you even have a playlist on your phone that maybe has classical music. You can grab playlists from Google Play, iTunes, YouTube. All you have to do is search Beethoven on YouTube and you can have hours of music of his. You can even type in, Beethoven relaxing and get some really beautiful music to use to soundtrack your classroom during some writing time, or you need focus time. Spotify is also obviously another nice resource for you. And I'm curious, I want to find out also, I bet some of you also have some CDs stuffed in a corner like I do. Maybe you even still use them. So if you have any classical CDs, chances are there's a Beethoven somewhere in there. So I'm curious, I want you guys to make a little comment or so. What is your preferred way to listen to music? So go ahead into the comments and tell me, what is your preferred way to listen to music? And while I'm waiting for some comments, I do want to mention that I said I was going to be giving out a freebie, and I have that freebie all set up on my website. So if you go to theinspiredclassroom.com/Beethoven freebie, you will get a place where you can just sign in, and I'll send it right to you. So you can go ahead and do that. All right. Excellent. I see people. This is great. No one's commenting though. Where am I going to see some of those comments? Maybe I need to look in one little extra spot. All right. Well, I'm looking for people to tell me how they listen to music. And I'm wondering if I can't see. I'm just going to check one more time before I continue on. I see that you guys are commenting. There it is. Chris Leary, first one on. At home, I love Alexa. Oh my gosh, how could I forget about Alexa? You can just ask her for anything and she'll give it to you. Excellent. So homework for you guys. I want you to make sure you check out something. Search Beethoven and maybe something, an emotion or something that you want to do, and see what comes up and see if you find something that you really like. So Chris, I'm going to get in touch with you and I'm going to get you a copy of Celebrating Beethoven in the Classroom. That one's yours. Excellent. All right. So listening to music, obviously a great thing to do with Beethoven's music, especially during the month of December. And I'll tell you why in a moment if you don't know already. The formula is basically 1 week, one song. So you're going to take one of his songs and you're going to listen every day for a week. So my favorite way to do this is during snack time. And so when I have the kids around me at snack time, that's a great time for me to schedule it in and make it consistent. And we listen to one piece every single day, the same piece, Monday through Friday. And every day we're doing a little bit extra, something a little bit different with it. So this week, my students and I have been listening to For Release, something that's really familiar, something that they love. And we've been talking about it a little bit every day, the different sections of it, what each section kind of makes, how it makes you feel, that type of thing. So it's a great way to make conversation, to derive interpretations from your students, and to get an understanding that not everyone feels the same way. So in particular with For Release, one section made one kid angry and another kid relaxed, believe it or not. Completely different emotions. And it's great to be able to talk about that and kind of see that people have different interpretations about the same thing. That's a really important thing to develop for your social emotional development as well. And you don't have to just listen to an entire piece. You can also do excerpts of pieces. So the first part of his Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, I think if you just listen to the first 40 seconds of that, you could count how many times that theme, dun, 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 comes up. And that could be one whole little short 10-minute time of listening to his music. All right, so if you really are interested in this whole formula of how to actively listen to music, you can check out my book. That's at my shop at the Inspired Classroom. Let's get on to the next idea, and that is for Beethoven biographies. And this is really important because Beethoven's not just his music, but he is himself as well. And it's amazing to learn about the man. And it's a great thing to do if you want to develop kids' seal and social awareness. Beethoven went through so many obstacles. He had an abusive alcoholic father as a child. He had an audition set up with Mozart, and he had the opportunity to work with him later on in his early career. And then his mother died, so he had to go home and he had to take care of his family because his father was basically useless. And then by the time he had that part of his life kind of taken care of, went back to Vienna, Mozart had died. And of course, probably his most famous obstacle was that in his early 20s, he started to go deaf. So here he was, a musician, a composer, who's actually not able to hear his own music or to communicate with the musicians that he works with. You know, he's a perfect example of perseverance. He's also a great example to share with students. You know, he had his highs and his lows. He contemplated suicide even. And you know, how much you want to share with your students, of course, is totally up to you. But sometimes the stories of these famous people, including Beethoven, are a great way to have conversations with students about some tough topics. And it's kind of amazing for me to see how some students kind of relate to him, or at least empathize with him. It's a wonderful way to teach social awareness. So I have a lot of resources. There are a lot of resources, I should say, out there for biographies of Beethoven. You can just search it online. Of course, I've already done the work for you in my ebook, Celebrating Beethoven in the Classroom. So I think this might be a good chance, to do another little giveaway. I see some people are still here listening, which is fantastic. All right, so in the comments, I want you to give me the best way to describe Beethoven or his music. What's something that you would use to describe him? And I'm gonna give the comments a moment, and I'm gonna try and not look and then flip over to where the comments are and then see the first one I see. All right, let's check it out. I hope some people have been commenting. Let me spin up. All right, checking them out. So we're looking for some of the one way you would describe Beethoven or his music. I want to hear some good descriptive words, guys. Some good descriptive words. All right, let's see what we've got. Oh, I'm still going to wait a little while, but I'll keep talking about these bios. You know, the ones that I have in my book that I'm trying to give away to you here are all at different levels. I've linked up a whole bunch of biographies that are at about a second grade level through to a high school level of reading. And so they're actually, some of them are ones that I'm using with my reading groups right now. We just started them today. And it's a great way to, you know, not just have his biography, but then tie his life and the experiences that he went through, tie them into his music and see how he really was able to redeem himself through his music. You know, was able to show others what was really inside of him. There's appreciation for beauty and nature. There's the joyfulness of brotherly love in his Ode to Joy in that whole entire Ninth Symphony. And the range of music that he composed is really a mix of his emotions that really stemmed from his hard life, his failures, his goals. And yeah, can you tell I'm a fan? All right. All right, Ethel, I see you did a nice adjective there, soft-hearted. Yeah, he was kind of like a soft-hearted guy. What can I tell you? Hardcore grumpy, really a soft guy in there. All right, so Ethel, I will be in touch with you for a copy of Celebrating Beethoven in the Classroom. She was the only one who did it, and she's my mom. What can I tell you? That's what's happening here tonight. I think it's great. All right, now let's do the next activity. This is kind of fun. This is actually really fun. Birthday cards. And birthday cards are fun to do as a little holiday activity. So as I think I mentioned already, Beethoven's birthday is in December. And when you're pulling out those coloring pages with, gingerbread men and trying to find a word search, it's holiday themed and doing all this kind of stuff, a nice way to streamline your holidays is to maybe focus a little bit on Beethoven. And so just about every year, I will actually have a time during the last couple of weeks of school before we break for the holidays for the kids to thoughtfully make some birthday cards for Beethoven. We discover how old he is at that year. And they will write some really cute messages. It's really kind of fun to watch. It's really fun to watch them. I've had messages where kids are saying, thank you for writing the music you did, or I'm sorry you had such a hard life. Just really, really sweet, sweet things, because we've taken that time to listen to his music and read his biographies and really start to understand and have some empathy. And what better way to kind of wrap that whole idea up by allowing the kids a chance to make something for Beethoven. In fact, I remember one year for Beethoven's birthday, I actually took a group of cards that my then second graders had made, and I brought them to my grandfather's house. And he just sat there and read them all, and he just absolutely loved them. It was very sweet. With the birthday cards, you can even take that and really do it up if you want to have an excuse to have a nice celebration. If you've done all this front-loaded work with the music and the biographies and some other ideas that you might even get from the book, you can have that excuse to have an all-out celebration. You can even have, a time where you can see Beethoven Lives Upstairs, which is a great, just 1 hour movie about his life, which is a great kid-friendly movie. Just check with your music teacher first and make sure he or she isn't already planning to do that. I know that's what I used to love to do when I was a music teacher. All right, you ready for the next one? All right, here it is. This is so much fun, and it's such a great opportunity for the kids. An all Beethoven recital. Just a class recital where the kids can actually sign up to play his music, sing his music, dance to his music, whatever it might be. And I have the sign-up sheet here. I should have grabbed the one from my classroom today, but just this very simple sign-up sheet where the kids can think about what they might want to do to perform and kind of pay homage to Beethoven in their own little way. So far, like this year, I have one student who's going to play the Ode to Joy theme on the piano, and I have a whole bunch of girls that are just like thinking about how they might do something a little bit creative because they don't play the piano. I've had kids play the recorder, play some of the themes on their recorders. I've had girls, like a little troupe of girls, doing dances to his music. How cool is that? Interpretive dance to Beethoven's music. Poetry for him, or reciting some of the poetry that he made into music is kind of a fun idea. And one year, some girl actually got up in front of everybody and did her Beethoven bio rap. How cool is that? So that was a really fun thing. And the kids loved that. So I've done this in second grade, obviously now in fourth grade. I've even done this in middle school. And, middle school, doing an all Beethoven recital with them, it just takes on a little bit of a different aura to it, but it's so beneficial because there are those kids that have taken private lessons that can play some of his themes or even whole pieces by then. And the other thing to think about is that not everyone has to sign up. One of the great things about doing a class recital like this is that not only are the kids who are presenting able to practice what that means and showing their presentation as part of, what's important there, but also the other kids are practicing how to be a good member of the audience, which is something that we need to really teach them. Gives them a great opportunity to do just that. So, when to clap, how to have a good expression on your face, making eye contact with the presenter to show that you are listening, have listened, and having that respect for them. So all Beethoven recital, you should really try it. Or if you're in my school, I'll invite you. We're going to do ours on the 14th, on Friday. All right. Give me a like if you might join me. All right. We are on to our last activity idea. And this actually goes with my latest article that I just put up this week on Beethoven quotes. So the post that's all about Beethoven quotes is at theinspiredclassroom.com/Beethoven quotes. No space in between. And these are just awesome. And Beethoven kept numerous journals and wrote many, many letters. And so there's so many great quotes that come from Beethoven. And I actually have this book that from the Beethoven book collection that was bestowed upon me by my grandfather after he passed away. And this book has just quotes on so many topics that Beethoven had. If any of you are interested in hearing more about that, you can DM me and let me know. I'm more than happy to share. He talks about education and nature and probably even politics in here, on character. He's got some great things to say. And it is able to show you what a virtuous guy he really was. All right, so speaking of that, I'm going to give you a couple of his quotes. And give me a little like after I read this if you think this is pretty cool. All right, so ready? One is, recommend to your children virtue. That alone can make them happy, not gold. Is that cool? I'll read it again. Recommend to your children virtue. That alone can make them happy, not gold. All right, here is another one. This one is probably my all-time favorite, and it really gets the kids thinking. Are you ready? Here it is. Anyone who tells a lie has not a pure heart and cannot make good soup. Isn't that awesome? I'm going to read that one more time. Anyone who tells a lie has not a pure heart and cannot make good soup. Kind of the truth. So these are great to reflect on who Beethoven was and on even some really good important virtues. And in my Celebrate Beethoven in the Classroom book, I have numerous quotes that are on paper that are you can practice handwriting and then writing it again. And then the more important thing is allowing the kids to reflect on it and really tell what their feeling is about that. Now, I told you that I had that freebie, and the freebie is actually a couple of those pages, a couple of those quote pages. So I'm going to tell you the thing again. In fact, I'm going to write it down in here. inspiredclassroom.com/Beethoven freebie. Make sure everything is spelled right. Inspired Classroom. Yep. And that is the link to get to that freebie. So I hope you download it and enjoy it. Actually, you'll sign up for it and I'll send it to your inbox. All right. Excellent. So, all right. So you guys stayed with me. This is awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you very much. I really enjoy that you're here. So because of that, I am going to give away one of my books. Not this one. This one's all tattered and used, but I'll give you a brand new one. I'll send it right out to you. So this is Inspired by Listening. This is my first book, and inside is all about how to bring active listening experiences into your classroom. And like I said, Inside is one of my favorite lessons that I use with Beethoven, with my students about Beethoven, as many times as I can, as many years as I can, with using Fur Elise. So let's see, I want to know one thing you might actually try and do this December to celebrate Beethoven in your classroom. Remember, his birthday is the 16th. You can do something any day, because I don't know if it's true in other families, but I feel like in my family, we don't celebrate birthdays. They tend to be birth weeks or birth months. You know, you kind of flaunt your stuff around for a little while you can. So we're going to celebrate Beethoven for the month. All right. Julie Kermelowitz. Awesome. I'm so excited. So I am going to get this book to you. Super duper. And awesome. So book is yours. And I am, again, so happy that you guys came tonight. I really appreciate all that you, all the time that you gave me. And look at that. Right on time. We're going to end on time. So thank you so much. Don't forget to get that freebie. I got to look at the camera. Don't forget to get that freebie. And I can't wait to see you. I'm hoping to do another Facebook Live next month. This is my new challenge to myself. And I want to, keep spreading the good news of arts integration and ideas for teachers. And so I'm hoping to maybe do another one this month. And now that I've said it, I'm going to try and hold myself to it. And you can too. So thanks a lot, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. All right, well, since you guys are still here, I'm going to say that these comments are so fun. All right, so Chris is going to be going to a Beethoven recital. Super. I know one that's coming up. Let's see, a buddy project. Julie, absolutely. Maybe making birthday cards together. That could be a lot of fun. And Julie, the fact that you are going to start listening during snack time. So cool. Julie knows the doll. And a good word there, Chris. Enduring. Love that. All right. Todd, glad to see you. I don't know if you're still there right now, but thank you for coming. You can share my love of Beethoven, I know. Awesome. All right. Julie, I know you're trying. Hey, Greg is here. Greg, did you just get here? Because you kind of missed it, but I'm so excited that you're here. All right, excellent. Okay, you know what? I'm going to end this while it's good. All right, you left me happy. Have an awesome night, everybody. Have a good night.